I'll give it a minute and a half or so to 2 minutes. See if anyone wants to come and join us. Apologies about the noise in the background. It's just the washing machine. I'm washing some clothes for tomorrow. I'm going to talk about what we did today and a few changes that are coming up this week. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Just going to wait another minute or two, see if anyone wants to join us. Right, we'll make a start. If anyone misses what we're anything, they could always replay this video. Anyway, today myself and Aaron met up, and it was a planned collaboration today, although we didn't quite do as much as we were planning to do due to a slightly delayed start. I'll explain. Today I left here about 7:45 in the morning and travelled to Kinross to catch the Ember E1 to Dundee. Now, I was already aware that Aaron was having to do a couple of hours work at his work this morning. No problem there at all. So, when we reached Dundee, I then made my way to his work, but he was still working. So I waited maybe about 20 minutes, I would say, which was fine. No problems at all. Gave me time to catch up with some emails that I had to do, make a few phone calls, and do a few things to do, not only with YouTube, but with work, my own work as well. So, once we did that, we had some breakfast and then headed off. Well, I had breakfast, Aaron had a sort of early lunch, because I mean, you don't really have fish and chips for your breakfast, do you? That also I was quite surprised when Aaron had that. Anyway, once we did that, we then headed to Nine Wells to get into position to start the 74C, or so we thought. We then realised it didn't start from Nine Wells, but from, I can't remember the name of the street in Dundee, but anyway, it doesn't matter. West Nile Street or something like that. We started it from Dundee City Centre and went to Ethelbeaton Park and back. If I'm being honest, the route didn't take as long as I thought it was going to. I genuinely did not think it was going to take that long. And it took about maybe 40 minutes. I was expecting detours around every single part of every place that called at, but no, it wasn't that bad at all. Didn't seem to take that long. And the only downside to it I felt on the way there was going via the Seagate wasn't an option, because the road's closed or doing some sort of electrical work or something like that, I don't know. So if you know Dundee, we came along the Seagate, but the road that takes you towards the Olympia swimming pool was closed. So I had to make a right, go down through the bus station itself and do a loop back, and then head back down Seagate to then get down onto Commercial Street and then cut down and along. Not being from Dundee, I don't know all the street names, but we managed it. And that sort of took a little bit longer than anticipated. But once we were clear of that, it was fine. We arrived at Ethelbeaton Park and we sat there for a good few minutes, I would say. And I think Aaron was starting to get a little bit bored of the route, to be honest. I just had that feeling that he was getting a bit bored of it. Because on the way back into town, we took a slightly different route back through Montefieth itself. So that makes me think that 74C goes to Ethelbeaton one way and then comes back the other way. The 74A comes in the longer way and goes back the quicker way that the 74C goes into Ethelbeaton Park. That's what I'm thinking. But I guess we'll find out later in the week. We'll get to that in just a moment. Once we got back into town, we decided that we weren't going to have enough time to do the 74A because we had to go to Broughty Ferry. We'll get to that in just a moment as well. So I have made the decision I will do the 74A myself on Saturday. And I'm going to look at possibly doing a 73B evening service on Saturday evening, if possible. But I will issue an update on the channel in the next couple of days if that's going to be possible. When we got back into Dundee, Aaron said, right, there's an ice cream place I want to take you to. And it's just off a Flowery Gardens, Slessor Gardens. I always get Slessor Gardens in Dundee and Flowery Gardens down in Cardiff confused, even though they're like 400 miles apart. Slessor Gardens is where Ember obviously picks up from. Anyway, we went and had an ice cream. It was this mint chocolate chip, which is my personal favourite when it comes to ice cream, with apple and elderflower. You might think that sounds absolutely disgusting, but put the two ice creams together, it's lovely. It genuinely is. And there's a hint of strawberry taste in that as well. Not cheap though. Two tubs of ice cream was like £12.50. And I know that was Aaron's treat, but the next treat is on me, mate. And I mean that. I'm saying that on YouTube Live. The next time we meet up, a treat is on me. Anyway, after that, we went and got the train up to Broughty Ferry. And of course, awkward me went to the gents and lost his ticket, didn't he? Yes. But that was after we were through the ticket barrier, so at least there was no problems getting off at Broughty Ferry. Only thing was that 43 that we got, the heating was stuck on in the first coach, and it was like an oven, basically, absolutely roasting. So I think we're both glad to get off and get a bit of fresh air. We then went down to Wetherspoons and discussed our next major collaboration, which is going to be in a few years' time from Land's End to John O'Groats. So we're still looking at hotels and where we're going to stay, and then we're going to do like backup hotels for the backup journey up the west coast, because we're going to be doing it up the east coast and west coast. But that is going to be quite a long way off. And to be honest, I'm looking forward to it. I genuinely am. We're probably looking at, I think, maybe 3 years for that. At least 2 years, but maybe up to 4 years, potentially. But we're going to discuss a bit more of that on Sunday when we're meeting, because that was another thing. We also have arranged that we're going to go to Barry on Sunday and do some train spotting there. I have never train spotted at Barry train station before. Never. So that will be a first for me. So that's coming up on the channel on Sunday. And after that, that was about it, really, to be honest. I caught the number 5 back into Dundee. And then got the Citylink back to Stirling. Was just listening to some tunes on my headphones as I was going down. And here I am back home. So yeah, all good. Coming up this week, as I said, we've got a few changes to a few schedules that we've got on the channel. Tomorrow we are still going down to Ayr. I'm doing an extended shift at work on Wednesday. So I don't think we'll be doing any full-length route videos on Wednesday or Friday. And I'm going up to see a friend of mine on Wednesday night. Friend of mine and friend of Aaron's as well. You know who I'm talking about. Thursday. We're doing Thursday. Yeah, we're off to Glasgow on Thursday. And going to do a live stream there. And we'll do some spotting. So that'll be good. Looking forward to that. Friday, I'm not doing anything apart from working an extended shift, as I said. Saturday, we're going to do the 74A both ways, and we'll look into doing 73B. I would look into it just now, but unfortunately my phone's gathering power at the moment and it's in another room. So that's no can do at the moment. And next Sunday, we're off to Barry. First time train spotting there. Now, Aaron and I have made an arrangement. A week on Thursday, we're going to do another collaboration. And this is going to be a good one. I'm actually looking forward to this. I'm going to make a start on the 201 from Kinross to Glenrothes. Then we're going to do a Moffat and Williamson route, number 64, from Glenrothes to St Andrews. Now that is a long one. That is about 2 hours. So that is going to be 2 mega long videos. And in between those 64 journeys, we're going to do a 9B around St Andrews. And we might make a start on the number 90s, you know, the St Andrews circulars as well, because that is something that I said we would do. Now, possibly, I'm not going to say this for definite, but next weekend, there is a potential I might be doing an all-nighter, because I'm doing the night routes myself around Glasgow, Edinburgh, and Dunfermline. The only one that Aaron said he will join me on is the 900 from Edinburgh through to Glasgow, because we're having an all-nighter at Edinburgh Airport on the 30th of September. And we just thought it would make more sense to do that one then, which is absolutely fine. I'm hoping these night routes will take time to do. Okay, I can't physically do them every single night because obviously I'm depriving myself of sleep. And it's personal choice, you know? So I can't do them every night because not all of them run every night. But I'm thinking possibly a week on Saturday. X55 Dunfermline to Edinburgh night service. Both ways. Maybe. I'm not saying definite, but maybe. I'll think about it over the next couple of days and I'll let you know, okay? Because I've got a few other things I could do in the build up to that. A few other evening routes that I could do around the Dunfermline area. I'm thinking 4B possibly, maybe 4C. Who knows? I haven't looked into it, so I don't know yet. I'm just saying it's a maybe. Anyway, folks, what am I going to give out? What am I going to give today? Well, breakfast at Aaron's work, top notch as always. Especially when you have sausage, egg, and some scrambled egg like I did. I've got a weird palate when it comes to food. If it's something I like, I don't care if it doesn't go with it. It doesn't bother me. But the scrambled egg usually doesn't agree with me. But it was fine today. Absolutely fine. Anyway, I've not had dinner yet, so I've got a Chicago Town pizza in the freezer there. Other pizza makes are available. And I'm going to enjoy that, I reckon, because I'm starting to feel a bit hungry now. So, with that being said, the ice cream. I forgot to tell you about that. I told you about that, but I forgot to tell you what I genuinely thought about it. Absolutely lovely. But a little bit expensive, in my opinion. I thought it was expensive for what it was. You know? You get your money's worth, portion size wise, for sure. But it's not cheap for 2 of them. So that's why I've got a feeling Aaron's watching right now. Hello if you're watching, buddy. And I've turned off the comments so that I'm not getting comments and then engaging in conversation with people. I just wanted to get this said and get it done. I just wanted to say cheers for that and cheers for a good day. I wouldn't have done it without anyone. I wouldn't have done it without you, buddy. It wouldn't have been the same without you. I genuinely mean that. From the bottom of my heart. This boom boom thing in my chest. And believe it or not, today, I'm laughing when I say this. Usually when I've had a couple of coffees, I'm very sharp with the wisecracks. Aaron was sharper than me today. I would say he was sharper than a pencil that's just gone through a sharpener. I even asked a stupid question on one of the videos, and you'll probably hear it when the video goes up on YouTube. I said, of all the collaborations that we've done so far, which one have I been the sharpest with the wisecracks? And he's like, how many collaborations have we done? I said, I don't know. Loads. But there you go then. He says, it seems to be the closer you are to Aberdeen, the sharper you are with wisecracks. But he did tell me one thing. It was a few weeks ago. He said we did a collaboration. It was a couple of months ago. And he says, you were razor sharp. And I think I can remember that. I might need to go back through hundreds upon hundreds of videos on the channel to find some of that. Might be something I'll do. We'll see. Anyway, folks, I'm going to call it a night now and finish getting these videos processed and uploaded. And I'm probably going to head off to bed soon because I'm starting to feel a little tired now. So take care, and I will speak to you tomorrow where we're off to air. So, night night.